Good morning everyone from sunny Southbourne. I wish. It is absolutely chucking it down with rain. It's at the skylight on the top of the van. The wind, mate, the camper van is literally rocking left to right. So I don't think we're going to be... It's absolutely chucking it down. I don't think we're going to be fishing in Southbourne today. I think we're looking to head over towards Eastbourne, and if we get a bit of protection, fish the pier. But we will let you know. Right, yesterday we fished at Chesil Beach. We was at Abbotsbury, Chesil Beach. As you see by yesterday's video, I had a really good day. We then left Chesil Beach and we drove to Southbourne near Bournemouth. We slept there overnight and we was going to fish there today. We woke up this morning, the wind, the rain, it was absolutely ridiculous. So we took a little drive up and we are in Worthing. Still very windy here. But if you think this is bad, this is nothing compared to what Southbourne was like. Southbourne was totally unfishable. We couldn't have done it. So I think it's around lunchtime, 12:30. So we're going to get a 3-4 hour session in, fish up till it starts getting kind of dark, and we just see how we do. And then when we leave here tomorrow, we will then be at Southbourne. But there's no way we could have fished Southbourne today. Sky keeps coming over, there's rain up there. It's just going to be one of them. Right, I'm only going to put one rod out for now. I'm going to do a 2-hook flapper. We'll get that out. There's quite a bit of weed washed up where the high tide come in this morning. So I don't know how weedy it is out there. So let's get set up and let's get some bait in the water. Hey. There we go, 2-hook flapper. We just got some blacks on the top and we got some blacks on the bottom. Like I say, I'm just going to throw the one rod out. I don't know if it's going to pull me into them coins, if it's going to pull me over there. Geez, that side. The tide looks like it's coming in straight, but I don't know. But then the rain don't look like it. Anyway, come on, let's get bait in the water. Come on, I love a little chit chat. Let's get rain in the water. Let's get bait in the water. And just like that, we are out. That is it. I'll tell you what, that line is pulling right across. Let me tighten, give that a little tighten up. I cast it out pretty much there within seconds. It has literally come right across. Right, there's definitely fish around. There is a dead dogfish washed up on the beach down there. So if there's a dead dogfish washed up on the beach, there's obviously dogfish out there. There are fish. So yeah, so we left this morning. Yeah, we got to Southbourne. Our next place after Southbourne was going to be Eastbourne. So Southbourne was unfishable, so we were like, right, let's head to Eastbourne and we just get there a day early. We miss Southbourne out. Then on the way I see signs of Worthing, and I went to G. I said, I'm pretty sure when I was a kid we used to go with my dad all the time to Worthing and fish. So I texted my mum and I said, when we were young, did we used to go to Worthing and fish? And she was like, all the time. She goes, most Sundays you and your dad and that were up Worthing on the beach fishing. So I said to G, come on then, let's give Worthing a try. So that is where we are. You can't really see it. The main road is just the other side of that shingle, and the camper van is literally just the other side. That's Worthing Pier just up there in the distance. That's Worthing Pier sticking out. Oh, I think he just broke off. Oh yes, I think he's just done his first cast. Oh, there's nothing worse than your first cast and breaking off. Yeah, like I say, if you look at the flags, the wind is crazy, but nothing compared to what the wind was like this morning in South. That was ridiculous this morning. Ridiculous. So yeah, so we are doing Worthing today, Thursday. We are going to do an Eastbourne on Friday. We will be at Dungeness on Saturday, and then we will be at Hive on Sunday. That is the plan. Right, I'm going to have something to eat in a minute. I'm pretty hungry. We had like breakfast this morning in the camper van. G done the usual, sausage, eggs, bacon. But like I say, it's about 12:30 now, and we just stopped at Tesco's and I got a meal deal. I got a triple chicken sandwich, a double Snickers bar, and an Oasis drink. So I'm going to tuck into that in a second. You are not a true fisherman until you stood on the beach in like 5 degrees, I think it is today, harrowing winds, about to rain, worm all over your fingers, and you're eating a chicken sandwich. You're either a fisherman or an idiot. I'll let you decide. Well, I've had a couple of casts now. I ain't bought no fishing, but I ain't really bought no weeding. There's been a couple of little straggly bits on the line, but nothing major. As I'm reeling it in, I'm shaking the line, they've just fallen off. The bottom hook that had the worm on, that was getting a bit scraggy, so I've put a bit of squid on there. If there's dogfish about, a doggy will go for a nice little bit of squid. So not a big, you know what I mean, just a little bit of squid. That'd be ideal for if there's a little doggy out there. Tide is on the way down. I believe high tide was 10:30 this morning. So low tide is about 4:30. And like I say, what is it now? I think it's got to be coming up to 1 o'clock maybe now. Let's have a look. 1:05. So we've got 3.5 hours of this tide going down. I'm not sure how far out these groins go. Like I say, it's really pulling to the left of where G is. But obviously, even when I first got here, the waves were just here and they're down there already. So after the next cast, I can move down even further and then we ain't got to worry about the groins at all then. Right, I'm going to have the other half of my sandwich because I'm still a little bit peckish. Right, I've had my mains, now time for me dessert. I don't know what. When they keep the chocolate bars in the chiller fridges and all that, they're hard to eat, innit? I'm not really a fan of cold chocolate. I like my chocolate like soft so you can actually eat it and chew it. That's fucking rock hard, that is. Oh. Right, I just want to get some fish out today. Like I say, started a road trip yesterday. We started at Chesil Beach. I had a blinding day yesterday. Loads of fish coming out, 3 different species, a nice conger as well. So me and G are hoping that we can carry that on and we can catch every single day of this road trip. But like I say, today was an unplanned day. We weren't meant to be here on this beach. It was only that Southbourne was unfishable. On our way to Eastbourne, by the time we got there, it would have been quite late. So that's why we were like, Joe, what? Let's just stop here. We'll fish Worthing. We'll sleep here overnight. And then from here in the morning, then we can make our way to Eastbourne. So let's just hope that was the right decision. And let's hope we can get some fish out. Right. We are still in Worthing. But as you can see, we're no longer on the Worthing beach. We are now on the pier. G was having a catastrophe on the pier. He cast out and it snapped off. He lost everything. And he was like, what? And he thought maybe the line was caught round the wheel or caught round the... Yeah, anyway. Rigged up again, cast out, snapped off again. He's like, what the hell? I've just snapped off twice in a row. So I tied a rig on. Nice, say, knot, half blood knot, all the rest of it. Put the weight on. I've cast it out. It was fine. I didn't put any bait on or anything, I just thought I'd give it a test cast. So I cast it out, it was fine. I reeled it back in, G put some bait on, I cast it out, it was absolutely fine. G had it out there 10-15 minutes, reeled it in to check the bait, untouched, went to cast it out, and he snapped off again. And he was doing his nut. He was doing his absolute nut. He was like, Worthing Beach is jinxed. He's like, what's he done now? He was like, he goes, I ain't fishing the beach no more. He goes, the beach is jinxed, I ain't fishing the beach. So, we've come to Worthing Pier to fish, which now means the camper van is all the way over there. We've had to park there. G paid for the parking, it's £2 an hour. So we've just done 4 hours parking, and then we've walked down and down the pier. And then from what people are kind of saying and talking, it's best to fish the pier at high tide. The tide is on the way out. Low water is 4:30, and it is now 2:15. So we've got 2 hours and that is going to be low water. And I think, I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up, but on the beams, on the uprights, you can see where all the mollusks and all that are, so you can see how high it does come up at high tide. So like I say, the tide is on its way out. I'm using exactly the same rig as I was on the beach. I've got a 2-hook flapper on there, I've got some lug on the top, some worm on the bottom. We've thrown it in the water. That's all we can do. We're out there, we're fishing, that's all we can do. G was losing his nut out there, mate, I'll tell you. He was absolutely... I don't know what was going on. I don't know. We were checking. It weren't caught round the rod. It weren't caught round the eyes. I don't know what was going on with it. But we're on the pier. Right, it says here, no overhead casting when fishing from the pier deck. They've got a lower deck you can fish off, but the lower deck, all the gates are locked, so you cannot access the lower deck. So the only deck we can access is this upper deck here. It's free to fish on the pier. We was looking at a pier somewhere else. We was looking at one on Google earlier, and I think it was £6 for a rod and £10 for 2 rods, but it is free to fish on this pier. So that is one good thing, although we've had to pay £2 an hour for parking. Oh man, they get you, don't they? That's the thing with Yarmouth though, because we're at home. When we're at home, we know where to park. We know where all the free parking spaces are. If you lived in Worthing, the locals would probably be like, yeah, down there and down there, do you know what I mean? But obviously we're not local, so we are paying. But anyway, G just cast out and that one stayed on. The edge snapped off there. So the sea's a really weird colour. Our camera's not going to pick it up. The sea is grey, like actually like gunship metal grey. Is that what they called it? The gun battleship metal. You know what I mean? The sea's grey. Like I know in Yarmouth our sea's brown. We don't get a blue sea. We get a brown sea because it's just Yarmouth. But their sea is grey. Crazy. And then tomorrow we are going to Eastbourne, which camera again ain't going to pick it up, but you can see the coastline going all the way around there. I think that might be Brighton around there, or if we pass, oh I don't know. Anyway, we are heading that way tomorrow. So anyway, we're here now. We've got 4 hours parking. We can fish up until 5:45, I think we got on the parking. So let's see what happens. Right, this water is shallow, really shallow. When I reeled in just now, I held it so the weight was on the bottom of the seabed, and where the worm is on my top hook, you can see the worm on the top of the sea. So you're talking like a couple of feet deep. There's a guy fishing down there on the bend, so I went and spoke to him, and I'm like, you a local, mate? Like, do you know about fishing the pier? He goes, no, I'm not local. He goes, I fished here twice before, I've never caught anything. Oh, great, mate, great. If you could get onto that lower deck, then you could get right on the end of the pier and you could go out into a bit deeper water. But because you can't get on the lower deck, we're obviously restricted to just fishing this bit. And like I say, we've still got 2 hours till low water. So in 2 hours time, where the sea's coming up there, that's going to be like down here in a couple of hours time. Oh. The only thing that's kind of keeping me going is I know the bass do swim in the shallows. Then bass do come into the shallow water, into the surfs where the waves are breaking. That's the only thing that's kind of making me think we might have a chance of putting something out. But I think today, yeah, I don't think today's going to be a good day's fishing. But we weren't even meant to be here. We weren't meant to be here. We was meant to be fishing Southbourne Beach. But like I say, this morning that was unfishable. Southbourne was unfishable. So tomorrow we are going to Eastbourne. Now I know Eastbourne does fish well. I watch it all the time. Is it CJ? I think the guy's name is. He does the filming for Tony Kerridge's. Tony Kerridge does the matches down there, doesn't he? And that's CJ. He does all the filming for that. And I do know they do okay down there on Eastbourne Beach. So today I think it's going to be a bit of a write-off. But yeah, we've still got tomorrow Eastbourne, and then we've still got Dungeness, and we've still got Hive. So let's see what happens. Well, I just had a couple of little rattles on my rod, right on the end, couple of little taps, and I watched it for a bit, and then it went again, tap, 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 tap. So I struck it and I reeled it in. There was nothing on there, but the squid had gone. The squid had been stripped. So I'm thinking there may be little wrasse or something down there, and they're not sort of big enough to take the hook. I think I've got size 1 hooks on there, so I don't think they're big enough to get their mouths open to take the hook. So maybe the little wrasse are pinching the bait off. Or it could be crabs pinching the bait. Although I don't think it's that much of a sandy bottom, I don't know. Because the beach itself is all shingle and stone. So I don't know if it changes as it goes out, I don't know. But if I reel a crab in, then I will know. And there we go, we have pulled out a tiny little schoolie bass. Tiny little one. Man, I think that's what we're going for my bait before. So there's bass down there, and he's gone for the squid bait. We haven't blanked. Day 2 of the road trip, and we haven't blanked. I know he's nothing great, but he's not a blank. Right, we're getting him off, we're getting back in. Come on. Well, there you go, he's gone back in. And then that fella on the end, he goes, twice I've fished on this pier before and I've never caught anything. And I've been here 5 minutes and just pulled that little schoolie bass out, tiny little thing. But it means I've caught, it's not a blank, and that's 2 days in a row on the road trip we've caught fish, which is good. I reckon there's a few of them down there, because like I said, I was having a few little knocks a minute ago, and I reeled in, and the squid, I'm just tightening that a little bit, and the squid have been stripped. So I think there's a few of them little bass down there, so let's see if we can get some more of them out. Hopefully a little bit bigger. Well, it's not going to be long, and we're not going to have no seeds to fish in. When we got here, the tide was up there near where them diggers are. You can see where it's wet. The tide is now at the end of my finger. Give it another hour, that tide will be there. Give it a half hour after that. I mean, I don't know how far the tide goes out, but I'm guessing in about an hour, hour and a half, we're not going to have any sea in front of us. I've got a feeling this is going to be flat bottom seabed. Oh man. So I say those, well, you fish areas, you don't fish. Like I say, I spoke to my mum earlier, and I was saying, oh yeah, we come to Worthing, and she's like, oh, we used to love fishing there. We used to come in the 80s, early, sort of mid-80s. I was probably about 10 years old, so yeah, sort of 86, 87. And my mum said, we always used to do well at Worthing. I think my dad had some nice bass out, and he had some nice big wrasse and all that out off the beaches. What is that down there? Oh, well, apparently there's a rock on the seabed and we can actually see the top of it. No wonder there's a sign there saying no diving off the pier. You do a head dive off there, literally your head would just sink in the sand, and from your shoulders it'd be bloody sticking up. Oh, bloody hell. Right, we've come round this side of the pier because we are losing the sea round there, and we're losing the sea here. So that is where we wanted to get onto, that lower level, and fish off that. If we can get on the end and cast, you can cast right out to sea. But because it's winter time and obviously you get rogue waves, all the little gates are all chained off. So what we've done is, in between this pier and the lower one, we've just dropped the bait down there. But again, it is not deep water. And if we were still where we was fishing earlier, we was up there on that beach. We was quite high up that shingle. But now, we'd have had to have walked about a mile out to sea. Man, I don't. People that are on YouTube are going, "Oh yeah, Worthing's. How do you lot fish Worthing? How do you fish it? You haven't got a sea. How can you fish somewhere where there's no sea?" Do you understand that? Do you understand what I'm saying, G?
Worthing's the cheapest, mate.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
They're going, "Oh yeah, Worthing's good. You can catch bass, conger, cod. How can you catch that? You haven't got a sea. You've got no sea. The sea's not there. It's sand. All you've got is sand. All you've got is sand. How are you catching cod and eels and bass and smoothhounds on the sand? There's no sea. How are you doing this? I think this might be our last cast. This might be my shortest video in history. But do you know what? I haven't blanked. I've caught a fish. I haven't blanked, so it don't matter, does it? Hey. Right, I think we're going to call it. We've hardly got any sea here. My bait, the weight is on the bottom of the seabed, and the squid's floating on the top. That's how shallow it is. So obviously these beaches you can only fish at high tide. There's no way you can fish these beaches at low tide. See, where we are on the Norfolk coastline, you can fish our beaches no matter what the tide, high, low. We've got sea there the whole time, but the sea here goes out so much. Right, so we are eastbourne tomorrow. High tide tomorrow morning is 10 o'clock. So we want to be on Eastbourne Beach at 8 o'clock. So we've got 2 hours of that tide coming in. We can fish it like on an hour while it's ebbing, and then we get the 2 hours of it going out before it disappears. So we're going to leave here in a bit. We're going to drive up to Beachy Head. We're going to stay up there on the car park. That's where we're going to stay tonight. And then we're going to get up at 6 in the morning. We're going to get up, have a quick wash, bit of breakfast. And then we're going to leave at like 7 in the morning, drive into Eastbourne, get on the beach and be ready to fish at 8 o'clock. And then yeah, we can fish for 2 hours coming in, fish the high tide, 2 hours of it going out, and then that's it. Then we're going to lose the sea. Because round there, the tide is going to be the same round there as it is here. Like literally, when that tide goes out, I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but we was like on the top of the beach. The sea's all the way there now. Oh man. Like I say, we're quite lucky in Norfolk. High tide, low tide, the sea's always there. It doesn't disappear like that. So I'm going to reel this in now. Like I say, I can see me squid floating on the top. We're going to reel this in. It's a short video, but I'm just glad I managed to get that little bass out. At least I didn't blank. At least I managed to get a fish out. So that's 2 days and we have caught. So that is it. Short video. What can I do? It's out of my hands. Do you know what I mean? So I will see everyone on the next video, and we will be at Eastbourne. I'll see you all there, guys.